Woodside Arran CIC, a social enterprise permaculture farm on the Isle of Arran. We've been talking about doing videos for ages, but we're very busy here, as most farmers are, and we've never quite got round to it. We're now planning on trying to take you from the end of the 2019-2020 season all the way through to next year to talk about what's going to be on the plates of people that buy our veg next summer, looking at the planning and all the different things that go on throughout the winter, and as the season unfolds, taking you through our organic and permaculture design methods, all the regenerative agriculture things that we try and do with the way we have our hens and our pigs, and generally just giving you a little bit of understanding as to what it's like to try and survive running a small farm on an island off the west coast of Scotland. Market garden, a no-dig organic market garden, free-range hens, some rare breed pigs, and lots of other things. We've been active for about 3 years now, and we are thinking about the future with how we progress now. We've got two new fantastic directors, Simon, who's holding the camera for me.
Hi.
And John, our other fantastic director with many years experience in horticulture. So today we're going to start off right at the beginning with soil. One of the most important aspects of the way we market garden is adding lots of compost in a no-dig bio-intensive method. So we are setting up the Rocket Composter for the first time. This is an amazing piece of kit that we put a lot of composted material on each bed each year, and because of where we live, we were having to bring that in on the ferry at quite a cost, and now we're able to produce our own compost here on the farm, which is fantastic for being part of that permaculture input-output model that we're so keen to keep working on every year. We initially started off using municipal compost, which is what a lot of people do. It was problematic for two issues. First of all, the quality was really poor, and we were finding glass and plastic and all sorts of things, which when you're using it just as a mulch, I guess isn't the end of the world, but when you're using it on annual vegetables, it's just not acceptable. It was causing root burn and all sorts of problems. So after that, we were using what most gardeners use, which is a 50 to 100 litre bag of compost. But as I say, we need between 200 to 400 litres per bed, so you're buying pallet loads of plastic covered soil from another part of the world, and that is not really the system that we're wanting to replicate here. So really happy to have some Arran compost coming now. And we're going to go take a look at that now and show you how that works. Dun dun dun! Bang! I hope not. Yay, we have power. Okay, fuses are okay. You can monitor as the temperature goes up. This is an exciting day because I've been thinking and talking about this for 2 years, at least. It might be longer than 2 years. And because having plastic bags of compost sucks. So it's going to be very nice to have proper, real Arran compost instead of mainland or German compost sometimes. Right, we're in. Oh, nice smelly. Right, oh, wee worm. We'll leave you in. And then a quarter. This is the recipe. Data. This is how you make compost. 1/2 caddy of horse shite, 1/4 caddy of lamb lash wood chip makes proper Arran compost. Thanks, Joe. Quarter wood chip. Slow, I have to learn now. Yay! Yay! It's not very exciting, is it? It feels like
No, it's momentous.
That's very exciting.
it really smells good. Get a sniff on that. To be fair, it mainly smells of wood chip. Look at the machine, it says it's got 4 sensors, which this does have 4 inputs. So it should be that this area just under the hopper is 1 temperature, then this area is really hot, this area is cooling down, and but yeah, it should just slowly move those paddles. I mean, it's warm in there. It's not roasting, but it's... Yeah, so the Rocket Composter will, at the moment we're just inoculating it. So exactly like a putting probiotics in your stomach after you've had antibiotics, or the way that different bacteria replicate in any composting system. We're just building that up. So at the moment we're aiming for about 100 litres of waste to go through, but our machine, the A500 I think the model is able to take 300 litres of food waste a week, and if we need any more than that in the future, we can add a dehydrator to that system, so it would take the water out of the food waste, giving about 70% reduction in volume, and we could go up to 900 litres a week. So that's going to produce way over the 20,000 litres of compost that we use annually. We're aiming for just over about 100 litres a week to begin with, to keep it at really low capacity. So that should be, they're 23 litre caddies. Very clever, Hugh, if you ever watch this video, that size of caddy at 23 litres, even if you cram pack that with the heaviest material, will never be more than 19 kilograms. So nobody's lifting anything higher than health and safety regulations. Thought that was quite clever. So yeah, so that should be about 14 to 15 litres a day. Times that by 7, shows how good my maths is, but just over about 100 litres a week. And we'll do that. But then once we're up and running and she's all full of our lovely bacteria, it's just a big tummy, really, isn't it? We're just creating a tummy and feeding her. Yeah. Because that's what he says. It's like an athlete. You want incremental increase. You don't want to overwhelm it with everything at once. Then we'll go up to 200 a litre, and then hopefully at full capacity 3. So we could probably go up to about 2 caddies a day. Send us your waste. Your food waste, bring out your scraps. Bring out your scraps. Right. Initial plan is to focus on using the waste that we have at the farm, because you can't feed food waste to animals anymore. You know, traditionally it would have gone in swill for pigs and things like that, and quite rightly that's been stopped since BSC. But it does mean that all that kind of plate scrapings and everything that we produce here at the farm on a busy day when there's 5-10 volunteers, there's quite a lot. But also we've got all the garden waste, we have chicken manure, we do have pig manure as well. So all of that will be primarily put into the system. But then we're going to work with our CSA members, hopefully, and if any of them are interested, they will get a little caddy and they can give us back the scrapings of the vegetables we give them, and we'll turn it into next year's vegetables. And we're also really keen to work with the North Ayrshire Council and the schools. So hopefully some of the school kids can see the full system, from their salads going on their plates and any scrapings going in the bin, through the compost machine, and then back into the soil for next year's salad. They walk away, and it moves every 2 hours.
Oh, I see. Because I was expecting it to...
I know, you kind of want something more dramatic to happen. Yeah, no, it moves for 2 minutes every 2 hours and maintains the temperature. So there's not going to be anything like that in for at least 14 days. And we need to attach this because this is where the drainage happens. That's right. So the technology involved in the Rocket Composter not only excites me, I'm no engineer, but I love some fancy science when I get my hands on it, but also a lot of it is to do with the fact that this means we can now use all sorts of different food materials. We can put in dairy, we can put in meat, we can put in basically plate scrapings, which, as I mentioned before, used to be in swill, and that's no longer safe to do, but now we can, instead of that going to landfill, we can put it through this process with the Rocket Composter, guarantee that it reaches a temperature safe enough to kill off any pathogenic bacteria, and then that can go back into the soil, and it is a much more circular system. We still have the traditional compost bays that most gardeners have, but there's no way of thermostatically controlling that and being aware that everything we put in is safe, so we can only keep that to basic vegetative matter. For example, even our chicken manure, we can buy organic chicken manure pellets because that's been through a process where they can guarantee that all pathogens are gone and it's safe. But our food waste, our animal waste, shouldn't actually go directly on our gardens, because we grow annual vegetables, things like salads especially, which just take straight out of the top layer of nutrients. We can't guarantee that that's been hot enough for long enough. But with this machine, this fantastic piece of machinery, we can do that and make sure that everything's nice and safe. And bulk things like grass clippings and stuff like that, we'll still put in a nice cold compost pile like most people do. It'll sit there for 2 or 3 years and build up enough heat and over a duration of time that it can be used again. But basically this fantastic machine can take what comes off your plate and turn it into compost in 14 days. And there's just no way without a massive amount of manpower or diesel power, which we try and avoid, that we could do that ourselves. So very, very excited to have technology on our side to make the science of composting a little bit more efficient for us here. We're really thankful and grateful to Zero Waste Scotland, a fantastic charity that's looking at waste management for all different businesses, not just third sector social enterprises. They came on site, they did a fantastic analysis for us looking at all our waste, specifically in our regard to food waste, but they also look at all sorts of different waste streams, and then they also supported us with grant funding as well. So a big shout out to Zero Waste Scotland, and if you are a business owner, a small to medium sized business owner in Scotland, I'd recommend looking them up, because the support we've had has been fantastic, and we're really looking forward to working with them more over the next year to do some analysis on the amount of compost we're producing, and also then how we can grow into it, whether there needs a maturation point or not. So yeah, big shout out to Zero Waste Scotland. And also the other side of this is Tidy Planet, who created the machine. They have various different composters and all sorts of fantastic, amazing engineering way beyond my level of understanding, and yeah, fantastic company to deal with as far as we're concerned. Hello Hugh, who's more than happy to listen to me talk about smells and size and particle things on the telephone at any time. So yeah, Tidy Planet and Zero Waste Scotland, definitely worth being aware of. Okay, well, we hope you enjoyed our video. We're going to be sending out many more over the next year. If you are interested, check us out on social media and like this video and have a look at our channel and subscribe. I hate when people say that, but it just means that you get the notifications, and we'll have lots more videos coming your way. So hopefully we'll see you again soon. Thank you.